You want to lose an arm? Try shaking hands with a human soldier. Commander Vra's words echoed through the crowded hall of the Galactic Council as his 6 limbs gesticulated wildly. Representatives from on-star systems had gathered, their bioluminescent skins flickering with various hues of agreement or dissent. Why do we persist in debating this? Valrath continued, his voice rising. It's not just a law, it's survival. We do not approach humans. They are a scourge, a nightmare wrapped in flesh. Across the hall, Captain Jira of the Zixar Alliance stood, his reptilian eyes narrowing. Surely you exaggerate, Commander. The humans are but one species among many. Are they truly so formidable? Vra's response was immediate, his tone sharp. Formidable. They have turned the art of war into a science of annihilation. Allow me to recount an event from the Battle of Epsilon Prime. The hall quieted as the lights dimmed, a holographic projection flickering to life in the center. It displayed a barren, war-torn planet, the remnants of what was once a thriving colony. The Epsilon Prime offensive, Wrath narrated, was a coordinated attack by a coalition of 3 different species, the Kral, the Xenar, and the Morons. The plan was simple, a surprise attack to subdue the human outpost and take control of the strategic resources. It was supposed to be quick and decisive. The hologram zoomed in on a human soldier clad in a heavily armored exosuit. His face was obscured by a visor, but the calmness in his movements was unmistakable. The humans, outnumbered and outgunned, responded with a counter offensive that defied all logic. They employed guerrilla tactics, psychological warfare, and weapons technology that we had never encountered. This single soldier, Lieutenant Marcus Drake, was pivotal in their defense. As the scene played out, the Council watched in silence. The human soldier moved through the battlefield with precision, laying traps, coordinating strikes, and exploiting every weakness of the attacking forces. The chaos and destruction left in his wake were overwhelming. They don't fight for victory alone, Wrath continued. They fight to dominate, to crush any who dare threaten them. Their resolve is unbreakable, their ingenuity in battle unparalleled. The coalition forces were decimated, reduced to a fraction of their original numbers. Within days the hologram faded and the lights returned to normal. Wrath surveyed the council, his expression grave. This is why we do not engage the humans. Their capacity for war is beyond comprehension, their strategy is ruthless. Any attempt to confront them results in catastrophic losses. Captain Jorth, though visibly shack-taken, was not entirely convinced. But are they not also capable of diplomacy, cooperation? Have there been no instances where peaceful interaction was possible? Vrath sighed. There have been such instances, yes, but even then the humans approach diplomacy as they do war, with cunning and strength. They negotiate from a position of power, always prepared to enforce their terms by any means necessary. It is why we have established the non-approach law. We must preserve ourselves by steering clear of their paths. Suddenly a voice from the back of the hall broke the silence. With all due respect, Commander, I disagree. All eyes turned to the speaker, a tall, broad-shouldered figure with the markings of a seasoned warrior. General Corps of the Nari Confederation stepped forward, his expression unreadable. General Corps, Valrath acknowledged. I trust you have a compelling reason for this dissent. Corps nodded. I do. While I do not dispute the dangers you have outlined, I believe there is another side to the humans that we must consider. They are not merely destroyers, they are also creators, innovators, explorers. Their capacity for war is matched by their capacity for progress. To isolate ourselves completely from them is to ignore the potential benefits of understanding their ways. Murmurs rippled through the assembly as Kor continued. Consider the Turan incident. A Nari vessel was stranded in a hostile quadrant, its life support failing. A human ship passing through detected the distress signal and intervened. They repaired our vessel's shared resources and ensured our safe return. Their leader, Captain Jonathan Hayes, displayed a level of compassion and cooperation that contradicts the image of unrelenting warriors. Vrath frowned, clearly unimpressed. One act of kindness does not erase their history of violence. General, we cannot afford to gamble with our future based on isolated incidents. Kor's eyes hardened. I am not suggesting we abandon caution, Commander, but we must also recognize that fear and prejudice can blind us to opportunities. The humans are complex, and to reduce them to mere monsters is to misunderstand them entirely. We must approach them with respect, not just fear. The hall fell silent as the council members pondered Kor's words. V's face betrayed a hint of frustration, but he remained composed. We will take your perspective into consideration, General. However, the non-APO in effect until we have more substantial evidence to support a change in policy. With that, the council session adjourned, leaving the representatives to mull over the intense debate. As they dispersed, whispers filled the air, some agreeing with Vra's caution, others intrigued by Kor's bold stance back in His quarters commander Wrath stared out at the stars, a sense of unease gnawing at him. He had seen the horrors humans were capable of, but he couldn't entirely dismiss Core's point. Perhaps in time a more nuanced understanding of humanity would emerge, but for now the law was clear: do not approach the humans. Unbeknownst to the Galactic Council, on the other side of the galaxy a small human fleet was embarking on a mission of exploration and diplomacy, hoping to bridge the vast distances and misunderstandings that separated them from their galactic neighbors. The tension in the Galactic Council remained palpable in the days following the debate. General Core, resolute in his beliefs, had decided to take a more proactive approach. He assembled a small team of trusted Nari allies determined to reach out to the humans and learn more about them firsthand. "You're risking everything," warned Lieutenant R.A. Core's second-in-command as they prepared their vessel. Wrath will not take kindly to this. Core nodded, acknowledging the danger. "Progress often comes with risk, Lieutenant. We must be prepared to face it if we are to grow." Their journey took them through uncharted regions of space, avoiding known conflict zones and traversing nebulae that concealed their movements. The Numeri ship, equipped with advanced stealth technology, moved like a shadow among the stars. Meanwhile, on the human flagship Endeavour, Captain Jonathan Hayes was deep in thought. The Galactic Council's recent declaration had reached him, and he knew that bridging the gap between humanity and the other species would be no easy task. Still, he believed in the potential for understanding and cooperation. "Captain, we're receiving a signal," reported Enan Carter, breaking Hayes' reits from a Nari vessel requesting permission to approach. Hayes' brow furrowed. "A Nari vessel? That's unexpected." Open a channel. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the stern visage of General Core. "Captain Hayes, I am General Core of the Nari Confederation. I wish to speak with you in person if you are willing." Hayes studied the Nari general, noting the determination in his eyes. "General Core, I appreciate your willingness to reach out. We will provide coordinates for you to dock. Let's see if we can find some common ground." As the Nari ship docked with the Endeavour, the tension in the air was almost tangible. Core and his team were greeted by Captain Hayes and a select group of human officers. The atmosphere was formal, but not unfriendly. "Welcome for the Endeavour, General," Hayes said, extending his hand in greeting. Core hesitated for a moment before grasping Hayes's hand firmly, a gesture of mutual respect. "Thank you, Captain. I believe we have much to discuss." The two leaders, accompanied by their respective teams, moved to the conference room. The discussions began cautiously, each side probing for commonalities while remaining wary of potential threats. "Humanity's reputation precedes you," Core began. "You are known for your prowess in battle, your unyielding spirit. But I have also seen acts of kindness, gestures of cooperation. We need to understand what drives you." Hayes nodded. "Our history is filled with conflict, it's true, but we are also explorers, innovators, and allies. Our strength in war is matched by our desire for peace. We have learned that true strength lies in unity and cooperation." Core considered Hayes's words carefully. "I have witnessed the devastation of your wars, but I have also seen your capacity for compassion. How do you reconcile these two facets of your nature?" Hayes sighed, his gaze distant for a moment. "It's not easy. We are driven by a survival instinct, a need to protect our own, but we also have an insatiable curiosity, a drive to understand the universe and our place in it. Sometimes these drives conflict, but we strive to balance them." As the discussions continued, both sides began to share more openly. The humans explained their technological advancements, their societal structures, and their long-term goals. The Numeri in turn revealed their cultural values, their commitment to harmony, and their own history of conflict and resolution. Hours turned into days, and a tentative understanding began to form. The initial weariness gave way to a mutual respect. Each side recognizing the strengths and vulnerabilities of the other. In a quiet moment, Core confided in Hay, "There is a law in our council, a decree that forbids any approach to your kind. It is born of fear, a reaction to the horrors of war. But I believe we can change this. We can show that there is more to humanity than destruction." Hayes's expression softened. "I hope you're right, General. We have much to offer each other and much to learn, but it will take time, an effort to overcome the barriers of fear and mistrust." As the discussions drew to a close, both leaders knew that their meeting was just the beginning. They agreed to establish a joint task force, a team of humans and Nari dedicated to fostering cooperation and understanding. This task force would serve as a bridge between their peoples, a symbol of hope in a galaxy often overshadowed by conflict. When General Core and his team departed the Endeavour, there was a sense of cautious optimism. They carried with them not just the promise of cooperation but also the weight of their respective responsibilities. The path ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were determined to forge it together. Back on the Numri home world, Kor faced a skeptical council commander, Ra's eyes boring to him with intense scrutiny. You defied our law, General. You jeopardized our safety. Kor stood tall, his voice unwavering. I sought understanding, Commander, and I found it. The human are not the monsters we fear. They are complex, capable of great destruction, but also immense compassion. If we approach them with respect, we can learn much, and grow stronger together. The council members murmured among themselves, their bioluminescent skins flickering with uncertainty. Ra's expression was one of grim resolve. We will see, General. For now the law remains, but we will monitor this task force closely, any sign of threat, and we will act accordingly. As Kor left the council chamber, he felt the weight of his mission. The journey had only just begun, and the future was uncertain, but in his heart he believed that they were on the right path. The bridge between humanity and the Numri had been built, and it was up to them to ensure it stood the test of time. Months passed since the historic meeting between General Kor and Captain Hayes, and the joint task force began its work. Human and Nari scientists, diplomats, and soldiers collaborated on various projects, from technological advancements to cultural exchanges. Slowly the walls of fear and misunderstanding started to crumble. One of the most ambitious projects was the construction of a shared research station on the neutral moon of Talonda. For it was to be a symbol of unity, a place where both species could work together toward common goals. The project faced numerous challenges, from technical difficulties to political resistance, but the resolve of both parties was unwavering. In the midst of this collaboration, an unexpected crisis emerged. A distress signal from the fringes of the galaxy reached the research station, a signal from a Nari colony under attack by a rogue faction known as the Drar. The Drar, ruthless and highly advanced, had been a thorn in the side of the galaxy for years, and their sudden assault threatened to destabilize the fragile peace. General Kor and Captain Hayes quickly convened a meeting with their teams. The room was filled with tension as they discussed their response. We cannot let the Drar destroy the Nari colony, Hayes stated firmly. We need to act quickly and decisively. Kor nodded in agreement. Our forces are ready, but we need your support, Captain. This will be our first joint military operation. It must succeed. The decision was made to launch a combined fleet to defend the colony. Human and Nari ships side by side prepared for battle. The stakes were high, not just for the colony but for the future of their alliance. As the fleet approached the besieged colony, the scale of the Drar assault became clear. Massive warships bombarded the surface and swarms of fighters filled the skies. The combined fleet engaged the enemy with ferocity, human and Nari pilots coordinating their attacks with precision. Captain Hayes aboard the Endeavour directed the battle from the command center. Focus fire on their flagship, he ordered. We need to take out their command structure. General Kor, leading the Nomar forces, relayed the command. All units converge on the Drar flagship. We must break their lines. The battle was fierce, with losses on both sides. The Drar were relentless, their ships highly advanced and their tactics ruthless, but the combined might of the human and Nari forces began to turn the tide. Through coordinated strikes and unparalleled teamwork, they pushed back the Drar, targeting their key vessel and disrupting their formations. In the midst of the chaos, Hayes and Kor found themselves fighting side by side. The Endeavour and K's flagship, the Valor, led the charge against the Drar flagship. The intensity of the battle forged a bond of camaraderie between the two leaders, their mutual respect growing with each passing moment. We're breaking through, Hayes shouted over the comms, his voice filled with determination. Let's finish this. With a final coordinated assault, the combined fleet overwhelmed the Drar flagship. Explosions rocked the enemy vessel, and it began to break apart, signaling the collapse of the Drar assault. Cheers erupted across the comms as the Drar forces retreated, their defeat clear. The colony was saved, and the joint operation had proven the strength of the human-Nari alliance. As the fleet regrouped, Hayes and Kor stood together on the bridge of the Endeavour, surveying the aftermath of the battle. The scars of war were evident, but so was the hope. For a brighter future. We did it, Kor said, his voice filled with pride. Together we achieved what neither of us could have done alone. Hayes nodded, a sense of accomplishment washing over him. This is just the beginning, General. There's so much more we can achieve together. Back on the Nahome world, the news of the victory spread quickly. The Galactic Council convened once more, this time with a renewed sense of hope. Commander Vrath, though still cautious, could not deny the success of the joint operation. The non-Apo, Vrath admitted to the Council, but today we have seen what cooperation can achieve. It is time to reconsider our stance. The council members murmured in agreement, their bioluminescent skins glowing with newfound optimism. General Kor's actions had proven that humanity was not just a threat, but also a potential ally. The law was amended, allowing for regulated contact and cooperation with humans on the human side. Captain Hayes received commendations for his leadership and vision. The alliance with the Nari was celebrated, a testament to the potential for unity in the face of adversity. As the research station on Talon continued to grow, so did the relationship between the humans and the Namari. They shared knowledge, culture, and resources, building a foundation of trust and understanding. In time, other species began to take notice. The success of the Human-Nari alliance inspired others to reconsider their own policies towards humans. Slowly, the galaxy began to change, moving away from fear and towards a future where cooperation and mutual respect reigned. Captain Hayes and General Core remained close allies, their bond a symbol of the progress they had made. They knew that challenges still lay ahead, but they faced them with confidence, knowing that together they could overcome anything. And so the law that once forbade any approach to humans was transformed into a guiding principle of cautious cooperation. The galaxy, once divided by fear, began to unite, driven by the shared belief that together they could achieve greatness.